Now, if you're a language coach or teacher and you would like to grow your online business and start perhaps doing more group coaching, then I'm going to show you how I would leverage the Skool platform and potentially YouTube to really grow a profitable Skool-driven, community-driven coaching business. So I'm going to show you step by step through a strategy that I've come up with after potentially working with a client. We didn't end up working together, but I thought I would share these strategies with you rather than have them go to waste, because in our community as well, we also have a few community builders who are language based. So I wanted to come up with this strategy for them as well. So this video is going to be coming from a student point of view because I'm currently in Thailand and I'm learning a language, trying to learn the language as well. And I've been doing this in person and looking at different ways to learn online. So I've seen the problems from that angle. And now obviously researching it as a marketer and a coach, I've started to come up with some different ideas. So I'm going to take you through the exact strategy that I would do if I was going to use the Skool platform. And as I said, potentially YouTube, but you can use any traffic source. So it doesn't really matter too much for that. So the first thing that we really want to be doing, as I said before, is we want to have the goal to keep people on the Skool platform as much as possible. So the Skool platform is obviously a community platform, and if we're charging a monthly, let's say low ticket subscription model, then we want to keep people inside for as long as possible. We want to keep churn, as they say, low. And churn is where people pay for their monthly subscription, but then they cancel after a period of time. So we want that period of time to be as long as possible. And if we look at this Skool community here by the crew, Spanish crew, he is doing incredibly well. He's got a great YouTube channel and his Skool community has over 5,000 people. And I can tell you now, he's growing very quickly. So he's making some great money from this. And at the first glance, we think if he's doing $20 per month, he must be making a huge amount of money. And I'm pretty sure he is. However, he's also doing a lifetime amount, and this price keeps fluctuating and coming down. And the issue with lifetime is that you then need to run this Skool community, doing the events and calls and so on, and maintaining this community and keeping it active for life. So what does lifetime mean? So if he's going to be stuck in here running this community for life, he has to keep it going. So he has to keep doing this. So at what point can he cancel it? Especially if you're offering a lifetime. So that's why I think monthly or annual is the way to go, because then you have some flexibility and end date if you get tired or you suddenly want to end it or sell the business or whatever. You have some flexibility there. So you're not tied in for lifetime. But lifetime does sound more appealing to people, especially when you're doing something like a language, which can take a long time, a year, 2 years to start learning the language properly. So we want to keep people in for a long time, and I'm guessing he's doing this because the churn rate potentially on the community was too much. So this guy's doing incredibly well, filtering people from his YouTube channel and straight into the Skool community. But we don't want to be doing lifetime. And we also want to drive enough urgency to get people to sign up. So that's the next problem that we have here, is that we want to have some form of urgency, because when it comes to hobby channels and these types of things, it's nice. Maybe it's a passion to learn a language, just like learning a sport. It's got long-term appeal, but people very quickly get bored or tired and they drop off. So maybe it's not going well for them. Like a gym membership is why gyms try to get you to sign up for a year rather than a month, because they know what people are like. They flake out, they drop off, and they don't keep going. So if we have an urgency or a goal behind it, then we have more chance of keeping people in for longer. And there's a number of different ways that we can actually do this. And that would normally be with some type of tapping into like one of the big three, which is relationships, health, and money. So if we were tapping into, say, relationships, so you were learning the language so that you could speak to your partner or so that you could date when you were abroad, people are more likely to spend some money on this. The same would be going if you're going on holiday and you want to learn some basic language so you can speak the basic language very quickly. So it would be about speed and getting the basics down fast. That would be a goal. It could be about passing an exam. So this could be passing a university exam or passing an exam for your college or your school, whatever it's going to be. But then you have some type of goal behind it, which is time sensitive and there's urgency. So therefore you're willing to pay money to get that fixed, to be able to get some help with that so you can improve it. And the other thing is that if you can't necessarily do any of these types of urgency, then I like to basically look at it and say, how can you make it easier, faster, and ideally more fun? So remember, this is a passion project for most people with language. So if we're looking back at this guy here, it again is a passion project. People are going to be signing up. They're going to be wanting to learn the language. He's doing it from an English speaker's angle for learning, but otherwise it's just generally about learning the language. He hasn't come up with any separate angle there in particular. But we want to make it as easy as possible. And he is talking about a particular pattern-based teaching method. So he's still finding a way to actually make it perhaps better or easier. But ideally, we want to find ways to make it fun so that people can start getting results over time. And speaking at it from my own personal angle here, I've been learning in classrooms, and what I've found is the classroom environment is quite difficult. Retention is difficult. So you have to obviously do homework. And I've seen the teachers that do better are the ones that gamify things and make things more fun. So in the classroom environment, I've really found that to be much better. And then when researching things online, I've come across people that are doing challenges. And this is becoming a big thing. It's a monthly challenge, a 100-day challenge, and so on. So this one, for example, which comes from a channel called Retired Working for You. So it's a guy that's a big channel in Thailand. And he basically, one of his staff members that used to work with him, she was a language teacher and she wanted to start a school, so he backed her on it. And now through his channel, they divert people towards their language school, which is a challenge, and they do cohorts to drive urgency. So as we can see, sold out, join the waiting list. And then what they do is a 100-day challenge where you have so that you can have a 10-minute conversation in Thai in just 100 days. So we see how there's a goal here. They've got a goal, a tangible goal here for an outcome. Or survival, learn the basics so that you can just do 20 days and get the basics down. So again, that was coming back to what I was saying about holiday, or maybe you want to be able to have basic conversations. So in 100 days, breaking things down into bite size, and what they do is they give you more words, a few words each day, a few sentences, and they keep adding towards it so that you start to see improvement gradually without overwhelming you. Because the overwhelm part for most of us as we get older is more difficult. Because if we see here, we struggle, they say after the age of 26, that we struggle to learn new things and form new habits. And that's because our life is sort of getting established, and it's not that we can't learn things, but big things, big changes in life, or learning big new things like a language, you can get distracted easily, and the results will not come quickly. If you do it, it's bite size and really compounding down into it. So you really want to break things down and get people mini wins along the way. So this, I think, especially with a community idea, so you got 100 days, that would be 3 months in a community. So that's going to help with your churn. So therefore, if you were doing this or longer, you know that you would keep people in the community for a longer period of time. So here is my plan. This would be my strategy if I was creating a language school on the Skool platform, in a community platform. And community is everything. We want to be able to practice, and this is another thing I noticed, being able to practice, and the games and the conversations that you did in the classroom really helped the words and what you learned stick. So you needed to practice what you were learning. If you just repeat it in a textbook or repeat it in a course, you then never get the real life experience. So it's obviously easier because I live in Thailand, so I can go outside and practice. But still, you've got to have the confidence to do that. And we don't, especially if it's the first time that you're learning a second language or really getting your second language. You don't have the confidence, so therefore you don't practice. So you need a safe space to practice as well. So here's my plan. I would do a 90 or a 100-day challenge of some kind or program. It doesn't necessarily have to be a challenge, but the idea is that we spread it out across a longer period of time. And you could start with 90 days, knowing that that means that you're going to have people in the community for at least 3 months. But you could keep adding to it. You would only have to build the first month or the first 2 months, and they could be just bite-sized lessons that you record really quickly. So if you're a teacher and you outlined all the things that you would teach them in the first month in the basics, and you broke it down into daily things, so it could be 15-minute lessons each day, 10-minute lessons each day, then you could quickly record Loom videos and just put that into your school community and then go live, and you would have everything drip-fed, so it's slowly unlocked day by day. And that means that you could actually outline 120, 180, or even a year program and build it with them as you're going. So you could build it with them gradually. So it could be beginner. The first 3 months is beginner. Then it's intermediate the next 3 months. And then it's advanced the next 3 months and so on. So maybe the idea is to be fluent within a year, but you have different stages for different things. So you could break it down like that. Or you could just keep it as you're taking from people from beginner to intermediate, and you just say do 90 days. It's totally up to you how advanced you want to do it. But the idea is that it helps with retention. It breaks things down in a bite-sized way, like the language program here that we showed you for Thai. And people get mini wins. This is the thing for me. When it comes to people learning courses, most people do not complete any online course. The completion rate for online courses is less than 20%. In fact, for most courses, it's sort of 10 to 12%. So that means that the majority of people that take an online course do not even complete it. So most people do not even get the desired result by the end. So we want to have the mini wins as they go along. And I noticed when I was learning the language that I was excited when I could actually understand what they were saying and I could answer back properly. So although it's not really much of a conversation, you then went into restaurants and stuff, and I was able to order, and I was able to understand the basic questions people were asking of me. And that is a mini win. That feels super exciting. Definitely not fluent, not at all. But it gives me the excitement and the motivation to keep going. So if with each month you're getting me mini wins and doing certain types of things, and you did it in a way that if it was about me living here and getting involved in the society, then you probably know that me being in restaurants and being able to order things and being shops, that type of conversational stuff is going to be more important than, say, business. So the type of things that you're going to teach me are going to help me get wins quickly, rather than teaching me about the royal family and the particular language rules and the alphabet. It doesn't have to be as important. That can come later. Get me the mini wins now. And with this, we then break it down into different months. So you say you've got month 1, and then basically you share the basics and you help build my words, because the more words I've got, the more ability I have to have a conversation later on. And I think a lot about language, maybe I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong, is just building up the words. You need to know certain sentences, and obviously you might sound a little bit crappy, but people will understand you as long as you've got the basic sentences down and then you understand the words. It might not grammatically make sense, but they will understand you still. And I think that's the best thing, because then people will correct you as you move, and you'll just improve by doing then, but you'll start to gain confidence because you can still communicate, which is a big part of it. So then you've got the day 30 to 60 and so on, and it's all being drip fed. So again, drip fed is where each day is unlocked. So you would go, so if I came in with 1 month, I'm forced, I can only go at that speed of month 1, and it's each day is unlocked. So I come for 1 lesson each day, do the homework, 1 lesson each day, and it's gradual. And this would just be a low ticket, let's say $10, max $20 community. And it much like a magazine subscription, this is like a hobby amount. The idea is that you have a lot of people coming in and they're staying and they're doing the gradual learning. But there may be some people that want to push to run ahead and move faster. But we just say, no, it's better that you just keep refining and come and practice inside the community and work on that and gradually build it. The idea is that you really get it down so that you really nail it before you move on to the next lesson the next day. So it's bite-sized. So even if the few people push, because some people will go much slower and they'll have to repeat month 1, and others will want to accelerate. But everybody is unlocked day by day, whether they like it or not. If you want, you could unlock a day or 2 ahead for those that want to push forward. But the idea is that in order for them to move on to the next month, they have to pay for another month's subscription. And then they keep progressing. And then they have access to month 1 and month 2. And then next month, they pay another monthly subscription. And now they have 3 months unlocked. And they can repeat that in any order. So after they pay for 3 months, they have access to everything. And if they leave, they'll lose access to that and start again potentially. So there's more interest to remain inside the community. And then we go on with sort of month 3 and then month 4 and so on. And you can go on, as I said, for as long as you want. You could go all the way up to 180 days. But then what we do to create a safe space for people to practice and to make it interesting for you, but simple and straightforward, because having general calls and general events like that guy, I think this is going to be more difficult for the flow of a business where we want more people coming in all the time and going through the system, and they can answer. You could have posts linked to each daily lesson, which then would have people maybe with exercises for little things that they could do. So then you get a lot of interaction in the community, which is almost then automating most of your community. And this just makes the community a little bit more hands-off. So you can focus on just answering some questions. And the main thing that you're going to do inside, other than moderating the community, is going to be doing the calls. And the calls, this is my strategy with the calls. And I think this will make things very interesting for you and much easier for your students. And that is that you have one call per week. If you were doing, say, just a 4-month program like I was doing here. If you were doing a 4-month program, then I would have one call per week. Now, if you were doing more, you could have more calls. But the idea is that all the different calls are at different levels. So level 1 would be month 1. That would be level 1. Level 1. So level 1 is for the people that have done month 1. And then level 2 is for the people that have done month 2. And so on. And they rotate. So you always have a call that you can turn up to practice the content and the information, the language that you learnt within that 1 month. So if you're like, oh, I feel like I want to go back and practice month 1 a bit more, you can go back through the lessons in your own speed, or just refresh yourself within a day because it's all unlocked for you at that point. And then you can show back up to a level 1 call and practice that again. So even if they drop backwards, they can go backwards and then rejoin level 1 call or calls. If you want to double them up, it's up to you if you've got time. Maybe as you get busier, maybe you do 2 calls per week. And then you've got all the different calls that unlock as they reach those different levels. Now, they can be unlocked potentially anyways, but they're not going to have access to the information in the 30 days. So even if they do show up to that call, it's pointless. It doesn't make any difference if they can't use that language. So you could always just boot them off the call and say, look, better, you don't seem to have the grasp of that, so better that you leave. But you could be quite flexible with it. But it's just more the content of the learning that won't unlock until they progress through. So the idea is that all you have to do is go through, and you know that what you're going to be practicing on those calls and those lessons are just what you teach in each month. And that will allow you to help people progress at their own speed through the program, and they can repeat it and they can stay for as long as they want. And then they have a safe place to practice and have conversations with you and potentially with other students, and you can get them on and they can practice that way. And then also they have the program that they can work through at their own speed. And this, for me, would reduce churn, make things very straightforward and almost a little bit automated for you. You can have a clear goal. You can reduce your churn so that people will stay longer and they will just continue to get results and work their way through. So I think that is a really good way of using a community system like Skool to be able to create an ongoing low subscription community that you could partner even better with your YouTube channel to be able to filter people towards it, like that crew guy who's getting over 5,000 people in his community now from his YouTube channel, where he teaches the knowledge, he shares the knowledge. But if you want a more organized system, then you come to his community for the next level. So that is the strategy I would use. Now, obviously, if you want more training on this, on using YouTube and setting up your Skool community in this way for your language business, then you can join our community. It's completely free at this moment in time, which I will link to in the video description. Otherwise, there should be a QR code in the corner. All right, I'll see you in the next one.